Alright, so my PS5 controller suddenly stopped working, and when I say stopped working, that means few of the buttons such as the left trigger and the up D-pad. So all of the keys were working perfectly fine, but the up D-pad was not working whatsoever. I took it to the Sony, but they refused to fix it. They took it for a day, and later next day they gave it to me and said it can't be fixed. So I decided to fix it myself. So I got all of the screw heads or screwdriver heads, whatever you call them, for the controller. There are like two of them. One I'm gonna be using to pry the controller open, and the other one is gonna be for the screws. So I haven't opened any of the PS5 controller before. I have disassembled some PS4 controllers, but this one was the first time. I did see some videos, but when I was opening it, I had a lot of trouble opening the controller, disassembling the controller. So the first trouble I went through was this, the cap on the top. It was not coming off. For some reason, it was just stuck. And in the video, it was so easy, and I left some stretch marks onto the controller. So somehow I kind of got it work. I just used force, and the sound was not pleasant. So after that was done, the only thing I had to do was to remove few of the screws that are hidden underneath. And there are also two screws hidden inside the buttons. That's the R1 and L1. And these ones are just like, you can't even imagine that there are screws underneath. So I had to watch a video to find the screws there. And if you're gonna ever do this, make sure you have no open windows, because the keycaps are just gonna jump off the controller, and if you lose them, you lose them. So first one came off pretty rough, and the second one was pretty okay because it just came out really easy, and I didn't have to go and pick it up. There you go. And while I was doing it, I realized, it's kind of smart to hide the screws underneath, right? What do you guys think? Because controller looks really clean without the screw holes. And after I removed all of the screws, I had to use an old debit card to pry open the controller because the screw head was not working. So this was pretty rough though. It was really tight in there, and I had to simply snap the controller, and by doing that I kind of broke the controller. One of the clip got broken. I'll show you in a bit. You guys can hear the struggle sound from the debit card, and trust me, it was not easy. I was keep thinking, what if I break the controller, because this is the only controller I had, and I wanted to fix it because the new controller cost about $120 in my country. That is a lot of money. I can get a PS3 or even like a old PS4 with that price. Trust me, controllers are really expensive these days. And you can see clearly how much I was struggling there. Trust me, it was a real struggle. The most struggling part was to pry open the controller after unscrewing it. And then I kind of decided to use the flat head to actually open these clips. So I forgot to unclip this side, because there are like two clips holding the controller together at the bottom of the joysticks, and then it was just that. And still it was stuck somewhere, so I had to use some force. And while I was doing that, I heard a crackling sound. And listen to this. And you can see this small white broken piece of the controller just fell off. And let me just show you. There you go. So I don't know what part it is, but it is surely a clip that was holding the controller that I broke. So after I disassembled the controller, all I had to do was to remove the battery. And after removing the battery, I saw another screw. So I removed that one as well. And after that, I thought it's pretty simple. I just have to take off the parts and then clean the controller buttons that were not working. So remember, the up D-pad was not working for some reason, and I don't know why Sony kept my controller for a day, and later next day they said it can't be fixed. And I was like, why did you keep it in the first place? And the weird thing is, they didn't even touch the controller. They didn't even open the controller to see what's wrong with it. They just gave it to me next day and said, we can't fix it. And I was like, okay, I'll just do it myself, because I surely don't want to spend like $100 and $120. And even for used controller, those are expensive. And Sony also suggested me to get another controller. And I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. And so anyway, after removing the battery, there was microphone. I don't know why we have microphone in the controller. Yeah, it's for some games, but here's the thing, you can actually remove this microphone from your controller and never use it. I don't know, maybe Sony is spying on us. I'm just kidding. So after removing the microphone, there were so many small ribbons that I was thinking I should not touch, because I know I was gonna break them. But somehow I was like, okay, I should just undo them. And after undoing the ribbons, the parts were not coming off. And I realized there are some more screws on the motors on the controller, the vibration motors. So the joystick came off, but the buttons were not revealed yet. So I had to take off the motor screws as well. Trust me, there was so many screws in the controller holding it, and there was still less than PS4 controller screws, trust me. It's like still, there was like 7 or 8 I think in total, but okay. So after unscrewing those, I got to see the, I don't know what you call it, the plastic part, the MCB or whatever you call it, PCB, MCB, I'm not good at it. So you see, everything was all okay. I don't know why my D-pad was not working, and yeah, the speaker was kind of dirty. So I just rubbed my hand on top of it. I wanted to use the alcohol, like 90% alcohol to clean it, but I was like, I should just test it, because everything just looks all good. Everything just looks okay. And after that, I checked the rubber part of the D-pad, and it was still looking all fine. And what I was thinking is, this PS5 controller is the first version of the controller, so maybe there's some defects, because there was just one D-pad not working, like, you know, up D-pad. And I was like, okay. And I did the good old blow on the rubber part, and I put it back. And once it was all in the place, I assembled the control back, and the results were kind of disappointing and surprising. And trust me, assembling it back was the real pain, because there were so many small parts on the touchpad I forgot, and I had to, I don't know, watch videos like again and again to know where it's gonna fit. And it took me about like an hour to understand, and then later I actually assembled the controller, and then I tried to test it before assembling it all again, because what if it doesn't work? So I turned on my PlayStation and the light was actually working, and I had disabled the beep sound, so that was kind of bad. And now as you can see, the D-pad is suddenly working, and that's what Sony couldn't fix. It's kind of funny, I just cleaned it and it started working. So basically I fixed the controller by myself where Sony couldn't. And it's not just the Sony, maybe it's the service center in my city. I'm not saying Sony is bad. I mean, it's they really are not. They're really good. The service is really good. But in my city, they're like, no, they're not good. They just check the product if they're in the warranty. If they're not, they don't. But in different places, they do check the phones or controller or PlayStation and fix it, and they charge a little bit of money. So yeah, I fixed the controller by just cleaning it, and everything was working, and then I assembled everything back, and my controller was good, up and running, ready to play Spider-Man 2. And
Hey babe, did I leave my other
I might
MPC up
buy
there?
another controller though soon,
think so.
but yeah. And also the left trigger was also working, and the thing that I broke was the triggers. The left trigger, the vibrations were not working, the trigger effect was not working, so I don't even use it anyway. It's battery consuming in some games, just like in GTA 5. I would never use it, but yeah, it was not working after I opened the controller. So I fixed the controller but kind of broke something that is useless to me, so it's a win-win. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this is how I fixed my PS5 controller when the D-pad was not working and the left trigger was not working. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.